What's going on, everybody? As we sit there in halftime, there wasn't a lot of defense played in the first half. Things didn't get any better in the second half. Cardell's expressions are looking at the box score. Those are shared by everybody up here. So your initial thoughts about Washington's home opener? They fell to the Houston Rockets 159 to 158. Yes, you heard me correctly. 159 to 158.
In regulation, though.
In regulation, no overtime. Go ahead, Raymond. Let you get your thoughts off first, and then Cardell.
I mean, it just Swiss cheese defense all night. We've been saying it the whole game. You know, you keep playing with fire, and you won't get burned. And that's exactly what happened. Wizards seemed to be in control halfway through the fourth quarter, but a couple mistakes. Had the bad IT turnover on the cross-court pass. Harden did his thing. Westbrook came alive on the offensive end in regards to scoring. You know, and I'm not one for moral victories. Like, this is a game they could have won, and they shouldn't be satisfied with just being there. Like, this is one they had, and they let slip away. So it shouldn't be any, we competed type language. Like after the Dallas game, Scott Brooks said we played hard. There was some mental lapses. This is a time where you need to say you guys need to be disciplined and finish a game. Especially against a team like Houston, who is considered in the upper echelon teams of the league. So yeah, it's just sloppy, undisciplined, just kind of going with the flow. Cardell said it was like a pickup game, which it was. And that's what you end up with when you don't establish identity and stick to what's going to win you the basketball game.
Cardell?
I mean, they said defense back decades now. I don't know. I mean, just, come on, man. Just they allow Houston shot 54 3-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, Washington outshot them percentage-wise, but you can't get in that game with Houston. That's what they do. That's their entire offense. Just move the ball. First person they got a semi-halfway decent look, let it fly. It was the defense why they lost the game in turnovers, especially down the stretch. Just deal with ball handling, just turn the ball over, sloppy ball handling. Isaiah throwing the ball into the fifth row. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like like Case Kingdom out here. You see what I'm saying? It's just. It's little mental things like that. You can't keep giving a team like that with two dogs that can close opportunities and knock you out, because they will. And that's exactly what happened. Russ had a tough finish, went to the free throw line, knocked that down. And James Harden came down, drew the last foul on Bonga, went to the free throw line, game-winning free throw. After Bill did what he did, drawing a foul to knock down the clutch free throws. It's just little mental errors where these type of games come back to bite you. And it's so deflating when you play this well offensively,
Yep.
And then on the other end, it was just non-existent. I mean, flat out, it was certain players on the Wizards that when they got switched, Houston was just like, just go at them. They didn't even run the offense no more, look for it through. Just break them down, get to the basket. And that has to change, man, because the thing is, it's still early in the season. See, the scouting report ain't caught up yet. It will. Give about to the 10th game. They're going to know Bertans is a sniper, so they're going to have somebody following him like he Reggie Miller out here. Take that away. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep Thomas off the boards. They're going to make it harder for him. Rui. They're going to start doubling him when he in the post. They're going to send different guys and different looks to disrupt them. And then they're going to just be like, we're going to double bill. Then somebody else try to step up through the interviews. And it's going to be rough. These are the games you got to take. You got them, especially at home. So now, I mean, it's kind of back to the drawing board. Clearly, their offense is fine. they need to practice where they just need to focus on defense right now. And obviously, definitely trying to take care of the ball, because that also played a part. You gave them extra possession to take you out. Had you just held on to the ball late, they'd have won the game. So mental errors, lack of experience, especially defending guys and stuff like that. You saw with Bonga just being antsy, just mental errors and sloppy mistakes, man. They can't happen against this type of team.
Yeah, and I think what the most deflating part, at least for me watching, was I'm not mad at the Bongas, the Ruiz, and things of that nature. Being on an island against Harden or Russ is not a welcome place, right? Even if you're a better defender. That's going to be part of the learning process, and I give them kudos for those guys weren't scared to get into their space. Mm-hmm. And when you get into their space, more likely than not, like that's their world. They're gonna do what they do. I'm not mad at the kids for that. But I'm kind of upset with the veterans because down the stretch there's a lot of opportunities to be poised, and you weren't. Houston's throughout this time with D'Antoni, they're an erratic team. They've always struggled to be poised at times, and that's why late there was, I think in the third quarter, Washington builds a double-digit lead and loses it like that stretch. And talking about Russell's impact, right? He had 4 offensive rebounds. I feel, again, just the top of my head, I feel like 3 of them came in that fourth quarter when Houston was struggling. And that's what got them going, got them back in it. One, he tipped out, he punched back out. It led to an open 3 after 2 passes. The next one, he tipped in. Another one he kept alive. And you had the one that people thought was going to be overturned, but it counted. And that one kept them right in it. Like, that was a direct response to a Washington run. Those little things, they add up. But it was good to see the type of night Louis had. But like you said, Cardell, when the scouting report does catch up, they're going to start setting doubles. They're not going to just let him get comfortable and do what he does in that type of space that he is down there. It was good to see Beal have a great game. But again, there was no defense played. I mean, there's not another way to say it. Beal goes 14-20. Harden was unbothered for most of the night.
And here's the worst part. Gordon and Russell were off.
Yeah.
So if they were on their game, playing efficient basketball, it would have been worse. And this is I can see this happening in Houston. I'll be kind of, home court advantage a little bit.
Right.
Young players that, kind of on that stage against those type of players. But I'm looking at the Wizards. I'm saying, man, look, at home, you can't lose these type of games. Because see, now, with the way they play, teams are going to be a little bit more aware and perked up. They're like, okay, we got to be more alert when we play the Wizards. And they're going to start taking them serious. And then that's when the scouting report's going to get serious. You know what I'm saying? You can tell Houston just like, no disrespect, they came here, man, we're going to deal with Bill.
Right.
We deal with them as we go. So they just like, all right, cool. Then they adjusted on the fly or whatnot, but they realized the Wizards were on the way during the shootout. So, like I said, man, it's a tough loss, man, because they easily could have won something to build on. Now it's back to the drawing board, and the NBA is another game. Coming road, is it Friday, Saturday?
I think
Saturday against Minnesota. They pissed at what happened in Philly, taking that loss. Carl Towns getting ejected, so they're gonna be angry coming in here. I mean, they come quick, man. Next thing you know, these little games you can let slip out. Next thing you know, you wake up like 1-7 or something like that, and you're like, where'd the season go? When there was so much promise here, so you gotta take advantage when you can, because they don't come around often.
And I love that you brought that up because you're gonna look, like you said, we might get to like the 20th game of the season, look back, and you're gonna look at the loss column, right? But then you're gonna take a deeper dive and be like, oh, we were in each and every one of those games. Those were single possession losses, or we lost by 3 possessions, a stretch of 4 possessions here. Not we got stumped. Like, it hasn't been those types of losses yet. And that's, as you said, that's why it is kind of disheartening, because you put yourself in a position to take this game. And especially from the type of production you got from your bench tonight. Not just Bertans. Troy Brown Jr. had a really good night quietly. Sound night as well. He hit 2 big threes during that stretch where they built that double-digit lead. We already know what Bertans has brung. We're kind of finding out that's a consistent
sniper.
Yes.
He need to be in the 3-point shooting.
Like, as a big, I was impressed. He came off the curl and banged the 3. Like, you are a big. Coming off a curl, like a whole 2, and knocking down that 3 easily. And, 4-point play. And it's fun to see the different types of pieces they have with the type of bigs they have. But again, I just would like all of them hit the glass more. And there's a couple times too many where I feel like, the guards would find them on a mismatch and they bail the smaller defender out with a turnaround jumper or a rush post move or something like that. And it's like, as you said, you're going to be, after a little while, you're not going to be able to sneak up on teams anymore.
Yeah, right.
So you got to make the most out of those situations, especially teams are going to trap Beal on a regular basis this year, right? Those bigs, you're going to get a chance on the run, dive into the basket to make plays, to get mismatches. Because the last thing someone's going to do is let Bradley Beal have a night like this.
But that's what we go. That's the debate between analytics and feel for the game. You see what I'm saying? They kind of go on the analytic way of shooting, but like you said, when you need a key basket, can you post up and get an easy basket? Because it's difficult to sustain that type of shooting as the game goes along with fatigue setting. And Bertans was unconscious first 3 quarters when the 4th you saw he kind of disappeared. It's hard to maintain that. And like you said, and also on top of that, the other team amps up their defense because they're trying to win the game before anger fatigue. So you got to be able to get easy baskets. Bill, we know, can mix it up. It doesn't matter about who can get. Rui, he's a rookie. He's showing he will, but I don't know if he can consistently do that once teams start doubling him and all that. But he will eventually be able to be a guy you can throw down there on the block and go to work. But that's filled for the game. But right now, I'm not even sure if a lot of the Wizards bigs have that in their toolbox. You know what I'm saying? Have that skill set to post up. So they got to go with their strength right now. But like you said, when they have mismatches against guards, they bailing them out with jumpers. That's the beef with analytics. Is like, man, you got a little guard, you supposed to punish him, get the foul. You see Harden, he got a big, I'm driving. I'm not raising up for a three. And you know what I'm saying? Unless we just need it or something like that. I'm going to the lane, I'm gonna attack you, make you foul me. It's the same difference. So it's the same advantage in the other way where the big got the guard on him. So I don't know, man. Maybe as they develop, they go. I know Rui eventually be that guy, but right now with the other bigs, I'm not so sure that's even a skill set. And like you said, when they shooting on the outside, you say get more rebounds. If you're shooting on the outside, you can't go get the rebound.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry not to cut you off. Is if you're Bertans, I know you're coming off curves. You're the one I don't mind. You're hunting for threes, right? Mm-hmm. I'm okay with you hunting because you're the one out of all of them. Not to be mean, being honest, you're the shooter. You're the legit shooter of the three. The other ones with Bert, if you're on the court with Bertans, at least to me, it feels like while he's hunting for shots, even if you're setting screen, you need to dive ASAP. There has to be a presence at the rim that's not a wing. It can't always be a wing.
You're right. But you also got to look at personnel when you match up against because Houston, if you don't get that rebound, it's somebody not. It's just somebody open. You know, and they're going to make those open shots. You know, and that's why they're scared. You know, it's just, I mean, but there are some players that got in the game for Houston where you can defensively dig down. We saw Isaiah Thomas, he was in the corner, I think he was on Cephalosha. Yeah. And Harden drove. Yo, you could dig down on Cephalosha. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was on fire for three. Right. He's not known as a three-point shooter. You got help. You can't just stand there and watch and stuff and then your big man picking up the foul. Little things like that. But then on the other hand, Austin Rivers is capable. McLemore came in, he hit a couple of threes. Daniel House was on point, so it's like, it's hard to,
you said, knowing your personnel.
And that's why in all season they sign certain teams. Like, why did he sign him? Well, his skill set can help what we already have. Mm-hmm. So it's just stuff like that they got to get. But, I mean, they got to get that defense together, man. I thought their defense over the first 3 games were pretty solid for the most part, but they took a step back tonight. And, you know what I'm saying? And Houston shot a good percentage from 3, but it wasn't. They didn't feel him, and that's what's kind of irritating. They did not feel him, and they got to feel him.
For example, Eric Gordon, for as well as he shoots, all 13 of his attempts tonight were threes. Feel like at least 11 of them were wide open threes that just didn't fall. Had he had a typical night, and then the 3 that he did hit late, like we're saying, at some point, a good shooter is gonna regress to the mean. But I guess you guys go share your final thoughts before we wrap this up.
Just feel like this is another missed opportunity. Kind of mirrors the San Antonio game for me. Extremely high shooting, but kind of fell off a little bit on the rebounding side and defensively as well. They could easily be 3-1 right now. But they in the position you're in, just from the lapses that we talked about. They got to clean that stuff up. This is a good teaching moment for the coaching staff, especially with the young guys. Like, they got to emphasize that this is a game that we should have won, and they can take that attitude into the next home game on Saturday, and hopefully be able to close out a note. But like we've been saying, you can't drop ones like this, especially at home. These are building blocks to a long 82-game season, where when you look back, you can either draw positively from it and advance your team, or it can be one of those times it was like, damn, we let one slip, and that's what they did tonight.
Cardell?
Defense, man. I think they're probably gonna have an easier road on Saturday because I'm pretty sure Towns will get suspended. So that's something they definitely should. They better not lose if Towns is out against Minnesota, but still. They're an NBA team. You gotta bring it, and that's a building block right there. You know what? Let's lock them up. Let's start establishing some good habits. Because right now they took a step back defensively, and I'm worried about that. But if they keep bringing this defense, it's gonna be a wrap real early in the season.
Yeah, and I guess the part for me, just to wrap everything up, is the type of length and athleticism they have on the wing. It's kind of even more puzzling because we're sitting here tonight, and like I said, I'm not mad at some of the kids for the efforts they gave. They'll learn the next time you deal with Harden. You know, I know Bonds has been in the league for a little bit, but I consider this his first real go round because you're really on the court now. It's not a lot more minutes. Wagner too. So, you know, to me, they're also like Rui. These are rookie minutes for them, essentially, where it's your first time where you're really part of a rotation, really being a part of it. But yeah, they're gonna have to figure this out. And then it's a young team. You're athletic on the wing. That has to become. I've appreciated the way that they scrap compared to past Wizards teams, right? The way that they continue to fight. But that defensive part, that has to become part of their identity this season, no matter what happens on offensive end, because they're capable. It's fine. I don't care how anybody shoots. It's cool, but the defensive end, because they have more than enough capable wings. All the time, think about who they bring off the bench. There's enough wings to be able to go hit the glass. There's enough wings you're able to switch and help and bother players. Obviously, I'm not saying anyone's capable on the Wizards. Just, hey, you're gonna go Kawhi and lock someone up for good that easily. No, but you can give better effort than tonight. This needs to be the worst defensive performance of the year, and you tuck it away right here. Mm-hmm. And as Cardell said, you can't let this type of effort defensively become a trend. That's what you just can't afford. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the very first episode of Wizards Outlook, presented by us here at the Focus TV. We'll see you guys on Tuesday night in studio as always for the Focus TV, and we'll be back. We're gonna try to be here every Wizards home game of this 2019-2020 season. For Cardell, Dudley, Raymond Lyons, Tarpeh Jr., we will see you guys later.